Good evening, a very late evening. What is going on, folks? Shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? I don't know how many people are going to be in the chat, but I wanted to do something a little different since I didn't go live for the play-by-play. I figured, you know what, I'll do a late night post game. And chat with anybody that is around. And I know there's a few of you that are in the chat right now, and I do appreciate you all tuning in. But yeah, I just wanted to do a late night post game. The Yankees won. Finally, they win another game, but still plenty of work to do with this team. One win is not gonna cut it. They're gonna have to put together a series of wins. And time is to not be wasted. But first and foremost, real quick before I keep going, shout out to the folks in the chat. Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll kind of go over today's game and just kind of get everybody's thoughts on the game, what you all thought, how did you all feel about today's win. We'll talk about it. But let me say what's up to the folks in the chat. Let's see who we got in the chat. Jonathan, first person in the building. What is going on? Desiree, how are you? Brooklyn is in the house. What's up, Susan? How's it going? Katie, what's up? Joseph Salvatore, how's it going? How are you? Who else we have in the building? Who else we got in the building? I'm just going down the line here. We got Stephen B in the building. What's up, Stephen B? What's going on? We got Jacob Frederick in the building. We got Andrew Dang in the building. Khadiza, what's up? I should do this more often, as much as I possibly can. Yeah, I might consider it. This might be this is one of these rare occasions where I go late at night on a live stream. Usually I never really do this. I mean, I usually go live, for the play-by-play, the pregame and whatnot. So, and then usually I'll just do like the monthly recaps. And then on occasion, I'll do like a morning live stream. In the past, I used to do morning live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Last year, that's what I was doing. But due to my changes in the schedule, I haven't been doing them. I might do it occasionally, so be on the lookout for it. What's up, Andrew Dang? Yeah, 9 p.m. Arizona time. I'm an hour ahead of you there, bud. I'm an hour ahead of you. So, but yeah, make sure you all hit the like, hit that subscribe if you're new. Share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. The Strike Zone is on the road to 2,000 subs. The channel's slowly but surely getting there. But I got to see some of the game, and I got to watch some of the highlights, and let me pull up the wrap up of today's game. Yes, indeed, the Yankees did win. Of course, there was a lot of doubt going into today's game, which is totally understandable. But the Yankees won 6-2. Will Warren picks up his 7th win of the season. He's 7-5. Will Warren, man, I mean, he's been the Yankees ace, really. I mean, he's actually been putting up quite a performance as of late. He's been the bright spot in the starting rotation for the Yankees. He went 6 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 7. I think, Will Warren, I think, pitched better than what a lot of us thought. I honestly thought Will Warren was going to go. I forgot what I predicted during the pregame. I think I said 4 1/3 or 5 1/3, maybe. But he exceeded expectations. I mean, he went 6 2/3 and had a great outing. You couldn't have asked for a better outing. He, gave the bullpen a much needed rest. The bullpen's just been pretty beat up. So Will Warren did exactly what he was supposed to do. again, giving up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 7, didn't walk anybody. He did his job. He did his job. I mean, he's been the bright spot in the starting rotation. You haven't been getting much production, unfortunately, from guys like Carlos Rodon and Max Fried. These guys have been struggling. I'm not going to say, and Luis Hill just came back. Luis Hill actually had a good outing on Saturday against the Astros. Cam Schlittler, can't really criticize him too much. I mean, he only had 5 major league starts, but he's got a lot of potential, and he's learning as we're going along here. But shout out to Will Warren. He's been the only pitcher as of late who's been able to go, over 6 innings, whereas the other starters are not giving you that kind of production. Of course, Luke Weaver comes in. He pitches an inning and a third. Looks like he struck out a couple of guys. And then David Bednar coming in to close it out. He struck out a couple of guys. Looks like, Bednar is probably it's probably going to be the Yankees closer at this point. I mean, I don't know. They got a couple of options, right? It's either Bednar or Weaver. I mean, you could consider Duvall, but I don't know about Duvall. But I think Bednar is going to be the guy. I think Bednar is going to be that guy that they're going to make the closer, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. To come in twice in almost a week to go out there and throw 5 outs. Bednar's he's a workhorse, man. I like David Bednar. I'm so happy the Yankees traded for him. Well, this is perfect though. Warren coming in, then Weaver coming in, pitching an inning and a third. They didn't have to go to anybody else in the bullpen, so the bullpen should be like fully rested now, in case they're needed tomorrow. Tomorrow Carlos Rodon is on the mound, so let's see how he does. He needs to have a big bounce back. If he's able to go 6 or 7 innings, that would be huge. That would be fantastic. And no, Bednar is not a rental. Bednar comes with some team control. I'd have to look up what that is, but he's definitely not a rental though. And shout out to D's channel. D's channel's in the building. So I actually didn't do a play-by-play there, D's channel. I had something come up. A friend wanted me to wanted me to help him out. Wanted me to do him a favor. So, I helped him out. So I figured, what? I'm gonna go live late. I'm gonna do a post game. It's a very late night post game, but I'm happy to do it just to chat with some of you. It might not be a packed chat, but that's okay. That's all right. But I should be streaming tomorrow night's game though. That's the game plan. What's up, Rodney? What's going on, dude? And D's channel is adding here. The thing is, because Belly's a Boris client, they may agree to an extension for more than 5+ years, and he may just end his career with whichever team that wins that bidding war. Yeah, I mean, he has that player option. There's obviously a 50-50 chance that he exercises it. If he does exercise it, that would be awesome. Then they wouldn't have to go to the negotiating table. But, he is a Scott Boras client. And, yes, I know Scott Boras works for Cody Bellinger. But, he could be in Bellinger's ear saying, hey, man, like, opt out and I could get you a contract. But the last time, Cody Bellinger was a free agent, he didn't get what he was looking for. So, what up, Petruzzi? Petruzzi's in the building. What's going on? Stephen B says Bednar is the guy we needed, and his attitude is what we need. Yeah, big time, man. Big time. You need that workhorse. Rodney says he celebrated the win hard. That's what's up. But yeah, so as far as pitching was on point today, which was refreshing to say. which is refreshing to say. As far as the bats go, I mean, Bellinger hit a homer. Giancarlo Stanton hit a homer. Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a homer. So, these three guys all hit solo shots. Giancarlo Stanton hit. That was his 11th home run of the season. Giancarlo Stanton needs to be in the lineup every single day. He needs to be in the lineup every single day, man. There is no reason why he shouldn't be in the lineup. He's been one of the bright spots in this lineup, despite the offense being, pretty piss poor as of late. You got to have this guy in the lineup. There's no reason why he should be on the bench. He is one of your hottest hitters in the lineup, and he should not be. He should not be on the bench. I'm sorry, he should not be on the bench. I see a couple of other people coming in. I see Yankees Country. Ken's in the building. What's up there, gents? Did I miss? Oh, yeah, Hank. What's up, Hank? I saw you pop in. What's going on? Yeah, make that money, D's channel. Make that money. But what's up? What's going on? Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm loving the folks that are in here right now. Looks like we got some night owls in the building. So yeah, usually I'll stay up around this time. At times. So, but I'm not streaming clearly. But tonight I made an exception. As far as the rest of the lineup goes for the New York Yankees, Grisham went 1 for 4. He had an RBI. Aaron Judge went 1 for 4. He had an RBI. Bellinger went 1 for 4. He had that solo home run. Giancarlo Stanton went 2 for 4. And Caballero came in, played for him. Ben Rice went 2 for 4 with a home run. Jazz Chisholm Jr. went 1 for 3 with a homer. Goldschmidt struggled today. He went 0 for 4. McMahon got a hit. He went 1 for 4. And Anthony Volpe went 1 for 3. I mean, so overall the bats were productive today. So, half of those runs came from solo home runs. The rest were all from hits. So I'll take it. What's up, Brad? How's it going? Maybe not late for you, late for the rest of us, man. I know it's you're in a different part of the world. But yeah, no, it was just overall, it was just a really good day or good night for Yankee baseball. But one win's not going to cut it, people. One win is just not going to cut it. They gotta start putting together a series of wins here, folks. I mean, right now, as far as the standings go, you look at the standings, they're 6 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were off today, and they have a series against the Cubs starting tomorrow. The Red Sox lost today. They actually have a series against the Houston Astros, so which I think is interesting since Bregman was a member of the Astros, and now he's part of the Red Sox squad. And you look at the wild card, the Yankees are still holding on to third place in the wild card spot. The Guardians are a game behind them. And Seattle Mariners, folks, the Seattle Mariners have been red hot here, folks. The Seattle Mariners have been red hot. They are in first place right now in the AL wild card race. They're 66-53 right now. They're 13 games over 500. They're on a 7-game winning streak. The last 10 games, they have a 9-1 record. So there's a lot of teams that have been getting hot as of late, and the Yankees are certainly not one of them. But hopefully, this twin series, a sweep would be ideal. A sweep would be ideal, and hopefully it can light a fire under them. And then they have a day off on Thursday before they go to St. Louis on a 3-game set. And as far as, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but you look at St. Louis, they're they're trying to fight for a wild card spot right now. They're 3 games behind a wild card spot. The Mets are holding on to that 3rd wild card spot right now in the National League. As far as the Cardinals go, let's see. They're in 4th place in their division, but they're trying to fight for a wild card spot. Texas Liberty says the Seattle will choke, I believe, based on what they do every year. Yeah, well, Seattle made some good moves at the deadline. They were struggling. They were struggling early on in the season, but right now, man, they're playing some really, really good baseball. They're right. They're right now. They're first place in the wild card spot. I'm not saying that they'll end up there, but the fact of the matter is, man, they're making some noise right now. Ken's adding here. Warren shoved gave the Yankees the length we needed. He accounted for 20 outs, for a light night. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, Ken. Will Warren, again, he's been the bright spot in this lineup, or in this starting rotation. He's been that productive pitcher. He tries to give you that length. I mean, his last outing against the Texas Rangers, I mean, he went 5 innings, but he kept the team in the game, didn't give up any runs. That was a game, unfortunately, the Yankees ended up losing 2-0. But there was plenty of opportunities to score against Warren in that game against Texas. But he kept them at 0, didn't give up any runs. Got himself in some jams, but was able to get out of it. Warren tonight, he shoved, man. He shoved, and that was the kind of outing we needed for him. I didn't expect him to go 6 2/3. I can't speak for the rest of you, but this was but he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He did his job. The bats have, this was the best we've seen from the bats in quite some time. It's always a scare with the Yankees offense. It's always a scare with this team, generally speaking. I am glad that they didn't win this game by 1 run. They won by 4 runs. I'll take it. So, I'm okay with that. I'm good with them winning by 4 runs. 1 run games. Listen, I understand if teams win by 1 run, but if you win by 4 or 5, that makes me happy. That makes me happy, because those 1-run games are always a nail biter. Didn't go max every pitch. Yeah, like I said, he's figuring it out, man. I mean, he's learning as he's going along. If he's playing his first full season, so he's figuring it out. I think he's going to be fine. He's got the stuff. I mean, his pitches are really good. When he's on his game, he's on his game. There's no doubt about it, man. He's truly on his game. When he's in a groove, there's no arguing that the guy can shove. He's again, I've said this a million times, but he's not an ace. He is not an ace. At best he's a number 3 guy. At the worst, he's like a number 4, number 5 guy. What's up, SGA? What's up, Cecilia? How's it going? Some dinner stagglers? Who are the dinner stagglers? Who are these dinner stagglers you're talking about there, Cecilia? Yeah, too bad the Yankees can't always play Minnesota, right? I mean, historically, the Yankees have always played well against the Minnesota Twins. I mean, that's like one thing. I don't want to say it's a guarantee, but it's almost always a guarantee that whenever the Yankees play against the Minnesota Twins, The Minnesota Twins are gonna lose every time against the Yankees. The Yankees are just gonna win every single time. It's just the way it is. Every year, it's the same thing. You know, the Yankees just do a incredible, always do a good job against the Twins. Ken is adding here that Eugenio Suarez, since being traded to the Mariners in 13 games, recording 1 home run, 1 stolen base, and batting 143, 7 for 49 with 19 strikeouts. Yeah, I mean, I know he's been struggling, but the Mariners, though, still they're on a 9-1 in their last 10. They're first place in the wild card spot. Something happened with that team, man. And, you look at the standings, I think they're only a game behind the Astros. Yeah, they're 1 game behind the Astros in the AL West. I mean, so these guys could very well take the lead. Oh, old college buddies are yours? Okay. I got you there, Cecilia. Elsa's dad is in the building. What's up? Nathaniel is in the building. What is up? Yeah, I did start after midnight, man. It's a late night. I wanted to do a late night. I didn't do the play-by-play just because I had something come up. So I was just like, you know what? I'll do something a little different. I'll do a late night play, post game and just talk with all of you. Just want to get everybody's reactions. Everybody's reactions to tonight's win. How did you all feel about it? Let me get some reactions. What's up, Theo? How's it going? Nathaniel's asking, what are your other favorite sports teams besides the Yankees? Knicks for basketball, the Giants for football. I don't follow hockey, but I do watch playoff hockey. But, obviously the Rangers is who I follow. And then when it comes to soccer, there's a soccer club in Turkey that I support. The name of that team is Galatasaray. So that's my squad in Turkey. And then if you go to England, I'm a Manchester United fan. Yes, they suck, but I support them. And I'm also a big combat sports fan. Love my combat sports. Anybody who knows me, I love me some combat sports. Brad says Rice and Stanton go back to back yet. Some would say Stanton isn't needed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Rice hit a home run, so therefore Stanton isn't needed. But Stan's been on fire. I think they said on the broadcast he hit 11 home runs in his last 29 games. I mean, it's freaking great, man. College teams there, Nathaniel. There's not really like a specific college team that I like because there's so many college teams. I don't know who to root for, but I do appreciate college games though. I always want to see good college football games. Same thing with college basketball. I want to see good games, man. Like I really want to get good. I really want to see good games. I'm definitely a big UFC fan. I'm a big boxing fan. I love boxing. Rice to get extended. I don't know there, Andrew. Yeah, he is in his pre-arb. Yes, Brad is correct about that. But I wouldn't, even if there was a conversation about extension, I would hold off personally. It's not because I dislike Rice. I do like Ben Rice, but Yankees and extensions just don't mix. It just does not mix. Brad says Man U sucks. Who is your team again in England there, Brad? Was it Liverpool? I want to say Liverpool. Theo says go Blue Devils. So Susan says she likes St. John's for sure. Nathaniel likes UConn and Penn State. Cecilia says happy for Warren, and my belly did indeed homer. Yeah, I was going to predict him to hit a homer during the pregame, but I didn't pick him. I picked Judge and Stanton. Stanton hit one. Judge didn't. Stephen B says, I love UConn, men and women basketball, born in March. The men first. Oh, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't have like I said, I don't have like a college team that I strictly follow because there's so many college teams, but I do love college games though. My alma mater, oh, UCLA for Cecilia. Okay, cool. Susan picked Bellinger. Yeah, I should have picked Bellinger. Ken said when he was in Turkey, he went to several football games following Beşiktaş. Nice, man. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, Beşiktaş, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray. Those are like the three big teams in Turkey. The fans are wild, man. I'm sure you got to. I'm sure you went to some games out there. Yankees country says he's ready for football. I used to enjoy the NFL, man. I used to enjoy football, but now it's like I watch the games and I fall asleep. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or if the game is just like boring for me. Theo's asking, I think I showed you this when we met NFE, but I have a family that went to Duke, so I grew up watching them for basketball. Yeah, Duke. I mean, you can't go wrong with Duke. You cannot go wrong with Duke. Duke's a good team. You know, they're always they're always in the conversation as far as you know, championships go. Ken says I went to 6 total Beşiktaş games in Istanbul. Tell me what was your reaction to the crowd? Ever since taking a well, I'm not going to even. It's not even because of that, Stephen B. And I'm not even about to get into all that. How like we can even we can forget about that. I'm not going to even entertain that conversation. That's not the reason why I don't I lost interest in it. I just feel like the game is just it just there's too many whistles blown. Uh no, Nathaniel, read it again there, bud. Read it again. No, read it again. There's a reason why I put that there. Read it one more time. Uh yeah, like I was saying, I don't watch that's not the reason why I don't watch football. It's just I just feel like the game is just they slow down so much. They don't let guys play no more. There's just flags being thrown left and you know for the most like insane penalties out there. Like it's crazy, man. It's like you touch a guy on the shoulder, they throw a flag. It's just it's slowed down, man. It's just and it takes way too long. And I'm granted, I know I'm a you know baseball is a long game too, but yeah, Nathaniel, that's right. There you go. So, but that's where I'm at with football, man. Every time I try to watch a game, I can't watch it. I get distracted, and sometimes I just fall asleep. You know, I'll tune into like the Super Bowl. I mean, I definitely will go watch the Super Bowl. You know, no doubt about that. And then like I was saying, like hockey, I don't watch regular season hockey, but I'll tune into playoff hockey because playoff hockey is pretty awesome. Insane crowds with a ton of food. All just like I would imagine, man. Yeah, those fans in Turkey are wild. They are. Cecilia says, "Me too." Oh, Tim is. Oh, you like the Niners? Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a rough one for the Niners. I mean, it's not better. It's not gonna be any better for me. I'm a Giants fan, so it's gonna be a while for them. Yankees country's a Cowboys fan. Oh boy. You watched the preseason Sunday of Chelsea? Okay. Yeah, Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea's a great team. You know, they're a fantastic team. And Stephen B says the hits and flags are killing it. 90s and 2000s with Brady and Manning were best years. I was like, yeah, those years with Brady and Manning, man. I mean, those were some amazing years. Those are some amazing years. Yeah, I appreciated. I enjoyed those guys. I did watching them play, but especially against each other. You know. Just kind of looking at the comments here. Okay, okay, you're a Bills fan too, and yeah, I saw Andrew that they lost for Sean Slater, man. Dude, that's a big blow. That's a big blow to the Chargers. I know they gave him an extension too, right? They gave him a pretty decent contract. Ken saying NFE Denver has a good up and coming team. Broncos are in your neck of the woods. Yeah, the Broncos, they got a team. Yeah, they got a team brewing. I do support the Broncos, right? Because I live out here, so I do support the Colorado teams too. But it's New York number one though. I was born and raised New York, so that New York teams are always going to be number one for me. But yeah, the Broncos, yeah, they got a squad, man. And funny enough, the Giants are actually coming out here to play the Broncos. I really want to go to the game. I really do, but those freaking tickets, man, they're just stupid expensive. And I know the as far as hockey, I know the New York Rangers are coming out here to play the Avalanche. I might want to go to that game. Yeah, since Eli Manning retired, I can't watch the Giants. Susan says, I hear you. Well, Bills are your number one team. Nothing wrong with that. My favorite part of NYC to visit, I go to Brooklyn, man. I hang out in Brooklyn. So that's my favorite part, Theo. Ronnie says we need 3 more teams for fantasy football. Well, I don't know if you're able to put in a link there, bud. But if there's anybody that wants to join the league that Ronnie created, let's make it happen. Yeah, hockey's a tough sport for sure. I'm a Giants fan, dude. I'm a Giants fan. Like I'm all New York. Brad says Cowboys come playoff time are sponsored by In-N-Out Burgers as they're in and out that quickly. Yeah, facts. What's up there, Texas Buckeye? How are you? Giants QB that they drafted. What was his name? Jackson Dart, right? Right? Was that his name? I saw some highlights of him. He's not bad. He's pretty good. Cecilia's asking me if the Yankees either don't make the playoffs or lose during. Are you a fire Cashman and Boone guy? I'm not really calling for. I'm not one of those people that's saying fire Cashman, fire Boone, right? I know that a lot of the fan base is saying that. Let's be realistic for a second. Cashman's not going nowhere. All right, Cashman is. They're going to let him ride out his contract. Until, which is until 2026. After the 2026 season, we'll see what happens. As far as Aaron Boone goes, I mean, if they miss the postseason, do the Yankees fire him? I don't know. I don't. Again, I don't see it. But I'm also one of those people that says, hey, if they let go of a manager, if they fire a manager, then so be it. I'm all for, then bringing somebody that's going to do a better job. Who's that somebody though? Right. And fans are saying, well, they're just going to they're just going to hire another yes man. Well, okay. If they're going to hire another yes man, then what is the point of firing Boone? Then it's just going through the process of finding a manager. And if this manager is going to be a yes man, just like Boone is, right? What's the point of replacing him? Then it's going to be the same result. And then we're going to come back and we're going to complain about the same freaking thing. I don't know. That's just my thought. Again, you tell me though, Cecilia, what do you think? How do you feel? Like, let me ask you that question. How do you feel? What's your gut telling you? What are your thoughts? Susan says, what about Carlos Beltran? Like I said, if he's going to do a better job, sign me up. I want to, if whoever that manager may be, if they're going to replace Boone, I want them to do a better job. That's all I ask for. Stephen B says Dart looks good. Kind of reminds me of hybrid players for sure. Looks like he had some good stuff, It's hard to say with pregame. You gotta really see what these guys are like. What these guys are going to look like during the regular season. Hal doesn't like to fire people. Well, I mean, they did let go of Dylan Lawson a couple of years ago. I mean, they did something that they normally wouldn't do, is let go of a coach in the middle of the season, but he did what he had to do. That's all you get it. Susan says, we know what Boone does. I think we need a change. Yeah, well, a lot of folks are saying that, but again, I asked the question, who replaces Boone? Like, who's going to do a better job than Boone? That's my question. Again, if they're going to hire another yes man, if folks are saying it's Boone 2.0, then what's the point of firing Boone? Just stick with Boone at this point. Because if it's going to be a Boone 2.0, then it's just going to be a complete waste of time. And we're just going to come back here and we're going to vent, and folks are going to go on YouTube and other social media sites and say, this person, such and such needs to get fired. Cecilia says, who's that somebody? Has been my question of fundamentals, guru, and inspirational leader, and not necessarily a yes man. Hey, sign me up there, Cecilia. I'm all for it. But again, who's that name? Who's that somebody? Truthfully, I don't know. I've said many times that, the one guy I would have really loved for the Yankees, even though he's not going to be available, and he's doing a good job there with the Cincinnati Reds, and that's Terry Francona. I would have loved Tito. I would have loved Tito. Tito would have been perfect. I'm a big Tito fan. I really am. Terry Francona would have been that guy for me. And I remember, talking with a few former Major League Baseball players on here who I've interviewed, right? Those guys who played for Tito, Terry Francona, they had nothing but great things to say about Tito. That would have been my pick, honestly. Like, that would have been my pick. Yeah, Francona's old school. That's why I like him, though. Francona's old school. The players like him. It seems like whichever organization he's managed, obviously Red Sox, Guardians, they all seem to have gotten along pretty well. Susan says, I think the younger players may have a better relationship with the new manager. Well, maybe. Ken says Rodney Linares or Kevin Long. Those wouldn't be bad options. I'm just glad, it's funny too, because some fans are saying Joe Girardi, which I think is hilarious, because I remember at the time fans were asking for him to be fired and be gone, and now here we are years later, they're saying, oh yeah, they should hire him back. Yeah, I don't know. I was, when it came to Joe Girardi, he wasn't the guy really that I wanted after Joe Torre. Who was that guy after Joe Torre? I really didn't know, but Girardi was not it, though. For me personally, he was not it. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. He's a good manager, but he wouldn't have been my pick. Cecilia says, if my grandpa was still alive, he'd say someone old school with grit. Yeah, right? Right? What's up, Chua? Shout out to Chua. How are you? What's going on? Make sure you all hit the like button on the way in. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, hit that sub button. Let's continue growing this channel. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. If we get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm definitely doing a couple of giveaways, a couple of gift cards or something. Make it worthwhile. It's just my way of saying thank you to all of you for subscribing and supporting the channel. It does mean the world to me. It does mean the world to me. So, yeah, Susan says, I would love Posada, but I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, I don't know if Posada would be interested in managing, honestly. Again, I'm not saying he would make a bad manager. I think he'd make a good manager. I just don't know if he would be interested. That would be pretty cool though. I wouldn't complain if he did end up being a manager. But now, as far as tomorrow's game goes, I believe it's Carlos Rodon that's on the mound tomorrow. Let's see for the Twins. It's said to be determined, so we don't even know who's pitching for the Twins tomorrow. But they have Carlos Rodon on the mound. He's got to turn it around a little bit, right? He's 11-7, 3.35 ERA. His last outing. Let me see. Let me pull up the game logs here. Posada has a temper and he takes no prisoners. Yeah, Posada didn't play around, man. Posada was like he held he's one of those guys that would hold players accountable for sure. Ken's adding here that Linares was part of the building the Astros, is currently on the Rays staff. Keen sense for developing young talent, which I think is really important on developing young talent. Because the Yankees do have some young talent. There's a lot of potential there. I'm glad the organization is giving a lot of these young guys a shot to, play at the major league level, right? With Will Warren, Cam Schlittler, Ben Rice, right? Dominguez, right? Jason Dominguez. They're giving, he's getting a shot. Wells, even though Wells has been playing like garbage, he's another guy. I'll say Ben Rice, right? JC Escara, Volpe, right? So the Yankees are they're giving some of their internal players a chance. I'm glad to see it. Susan says, I guarantee if the players didn't run bases or made stupid errors, Posada would sit them down. I mean, I know I would. Ken says, means the Twins are going with a bullpen game. Yeah. They're probably going with an opener. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bullpen game. Chua says it's Rodon versus Hatch tomorrow night. Thomas Hatch? Really? Is that right? Yeah, it still says to be determined when you look at them, but if it's Thomas Hatch, okay. It's not a necessity. If we didn't have so many injuries, a lot of these guys wouldn't be here. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be, but at the same time, it's kind of a blessing that these guys are up here playing. I'm glad to see that. Yeah, Yankees now have 4 players in the MLB top 100 prospects. Yeah, I was talking with Brad a little bit about that earlier today, and I was very happy, very pleased to hear that. Um, yeah, very happy to hear that. And as far as the Yankees top 10 prospects go, I want to know how you all feel about this. Let me pull up the list here. So, yeah, Lombard Jr., Legrande, Schlittler, and Jones are all featured on the MLB Pipeline's top 100, which that's fantastic. That's fantastic. That gets me excited. But I want to share this with all of you. You're not getting blamed for anything. I'm actually giving you credit, which is pretty rare, Brad. So take it. All right. But this is the Yankees top 10 right here of for their prospects and for Yankee prospects. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So let me know how you all feel about this. There was definitely a couple that really surprised me. So George Lombard Jr. is at 1, Legrande is at 2, Cam Schlittler is at 3, Spencer Jones is at 4. I don't know why, but I feel like Jones should be ranked higher, but that's just my opinion. But he's at number 4. You got Bryce Cunningham at 5. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is 6th, and he's actually been pitching quite well down in the minors. I'm liking him. He's a guy that they acquired from the Red Sox when the Yankees traded away Carlos Narvaez. You got Ben Hess at 7. Dax Kilby, folks. Dax Kilby. So this is one of the ones. Like Dax Kilby is at number 8. And this was the guy that they drafted during during the MLB draft. They drafted him about a month ago. And he's already ranked 8th. Chase Hampton's ranked 9th. He's not playing this season. You got Tommy John and Henry Lalane is 10th. But I want to know though why I wonder why Dax Kilby is ranked 8th though. Cruz has command issues. Yeah, he has some command issues, but he's got a lot of potential though, Brad. Give him some time. I think he's going to be fine. But Dax Kilby at number 8, I'm not really sure. I don't know that I don't know how they came to that. I don't know how Dax Kilby, who just got drafted, is at number 8. I mean, maybe somebody could explain it to me. Cecilia says, "Me too. Spencer should be higher, but he's slumping currently, so maybe that's why he fell to 4th." I'm not sure, but Spencer Jones has been killing it at AAA. I mean, sure, he might be going through a slump, but he's been killing it. He's been killing it at AAA, and there's no doubt that they got to call this guy up in September when they expand the roster. But Dax Kilby at 8 though, that I kind of question. So are the Yankees really betting high on this guy? And from what I've seen with Dax Kilby, just some of the highlights and how he plays the field, I think he's more suited for second base. And the other guy that they drafted, which was Jeff Kent's son, Caden Kent, he's definitely more of a shortstop than Kilby is, in my opinion. I'm not saying Kilby can't play shortstop. But I think Kilby looks. I think he's more suited for second base. I think. Yeah, I agree, Brad. I don't think he should be in the top 10. But why? I'm wondering why he's been placed in the top 10. I don't. That's the part I'm trying to understand. I might have to talk to Rob about this from Pinstripe Chronicles because I know he still follows a lot of the prospects. So I might need to ask him. Yeah, I know he's not on the 40 man there, Brad, but they could make room for him. I mean, they'll have to make room for him. Brad says, I wonder who said that about Kilby and Kent. Said what? About shortstop and second base? And if you're talking about yourself, yeah, you said it, right? But I'm pretty sure you said it. But I was just going off of what I saw, really. But I'm wondering though too. Speaking of the draft, the Yankees drafted what was it, six shortstop? They drafted six shortstop, so they drafted a bunch of infielders. So got to has to make you wonder, what the game plan is. I know they traded away a bunch of their infielders, but makes you wonder what Anthony Volpe's future is going to look like. George Lombard Jr. is knocking on the door. He's probably not going to be up next season, but he'll probably be up the season after that. He's definitely highly touted. I mean, clearly he's number one for the Yankees. He's their number one prospect in the Yankees farm system. Susan says six shortstops or a message to Volpe. I mean, I would say so. I mean, if you drafted that many shortstops, perhaps you're not happy with the organization. Maybe saying they're not happy with what they got right now. I mean, the Yankees did trade away a bunch of their infielders, right? During the trade deadline. I mean, I know folks were not happy about some guys being traded, but hey, sometimes those trades you got to make, especially if you're a team that's trying to win right now, right? If you're trying to compete right now. So Hatch is a righty pitcher, got it. But yeah, like I was saying, with Carlos Rodon, who's pitching tomorrow, kind of got a little bit off track there. But his last outing against the Texas Rangers didn't really have a great outing. I mean, he gave up 2 earned runs, 5 innings. He walked 4, struck out 3. It wasn't exactly a strong outing for him. And the game before that was against Miami. And, Miami took it to him. He only pitched 4 2/3 and gave up 4 earned runs. Struck out 9, walked 5. I mean, it was an okay outing. It was an all right outing. I mean, he still managed to strike out 9, but he walked 5. Gave up 4 runs and 4 2/3, so they couldn't really get any length out of him there. But that series against the Miami Marlins was terrible. And the series before that was against the Phillies, and he ended up getting the win in that game. And he ended up going 5 1/3 in that game against the Phillies, and that was a game that the Yankees won. But Rodon has had a few rough outings. Regio and Durbin were drafted as shortstop. I didn't know Durbin was drafted as a shortstop. I did not know that. I thought he was drafted as a second baseman. Same with Regio, but it's good to know. Cecilia says Los makes me nervous. I mean, not me. Honestly, I feel more confident with him this season than last season. Even last season, I felt good about him. I mean, 2023, yeah, not so much, but that 2023 was just a bad year all around. But this season, though, I feel more comfortable with him. Susan says maybe it's me, but I think Rice should catch more and Wells less. I agree. I agree. Yeah, the starters have also been let down by the bats, no doubt. But yeah, I do want to see Ben Rice catch more. I do want to see him at the behind the dish a little bit more than Austin Wells. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know Ben Rice's bat has been talked about a lot, and I know some folks I want to say we're not really sold on him as a catcher, but honestly, I think he's been fine as a catcher. I think he should be catching the majority of the games with Austin Wells being the backup, honestly. Austin Wells is not, I mean, when he first came up with the Yankees, I liked him. I liked what he was doing, but right now, I don't like what he's doing. I mean, it's almost like he's on the verge of batting under 200. He doesn't get as emotional as he used to, though, Susan. I mean, before, yeah, he would get super emotional. He would get very angry on the mound. I think in my opinion, I feel like he's done a better job of keeping his emotions in check. But I could be missing something here. Susan says Rice and Warren were great together. They have a good chemistry. They have a very, very good chemistry. They need to keep Rice and Warren together at all times. That chemistry between those guys, it works. It works. The pitcher catcher chemistry is really important to the team, and I think they need to keep Rice and Warren together. But like I said, I think Rice needs to catch in more of these games. Really, I think he needs to be playing more than Wells right now. That's what I think. I fortunately, it's just I don't think Wells is not it as of right now. He's not it. I know folks are saying the Yankees traded away a bunch of these catchers and and they kept Austin Wells. Well, again, those catchers got the Yankees players that they needed. Yes, trades are going to hurt. It sucks, but those trades need to be made because of the fact that these guys, the Yankees are trying to, win now, right? And every trade, man, it's like you don't know how these trades are going to work out. That's the other thing, right? That's the other thing with these trades is that you don't know how these trades are going to work out. Hindsight's 2020, right? For example, I know a lot of folks have been complaining this season about the Yankees trading away Caleb Durbin. And, they got Devin Williams. They're stuck with Devin Williams. But who would have thought that Devin Williams was going to have a season like this? Who would have thought? I didn't think it. A lot of folks are acting like they knew that this was going to happen. No, we really didn't know. Devin Williams has a good track record. And if folks want to throw out the fact that, that Pete Alonso broke him in the postseason, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but just because closers, yeah, there's a game where they choke, they blow a save. It happens. It does happen. It even happened to Mariano Rivera, right? But at the time, the Williams trade was a good idea. It was. It was adding another good piece to the bullpen, right? You were hoping for a Will or a Luke Weaver, Devin Williams duo, but it didn't happen. It didn't pan out, unfortunately. But none of us expected Devin Williams to be pitching the way he is this season, not based on his track record. I got you, Chua. But yeah, you don't know how these trades are going to work out. It's always a risk. It's always a risk, and it's a gamble. And I this is why I hate to be the decision maker, work in the front office, trying to figure out should we trade this guy? Should we acquire this guy? Is this guy going to work out? You gotta believe in it. You gotta with any of these trades that the Yankees make, you got to believe that whatever trade that they're making is going to benefit the team. I mean, some trades that they've made, yeah, it's questionable. Yeah, David Robertson was good. I don't know how it'll be with the Phillies, but we'll find out soon enough. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But as far as tonight goes, I'm very thrilled with the win from the Yankees. I mean, they certainly need to put together a series of wins, though. I mean, I think the opportunity with the Twins against the Twins, I mean, this is perfect. So hopefully put together some wins. They got 2 more games against the Twins before they travel to St. Louis. We don't know how they're going to play against the Cardinals. Cardinals, I'm not I'm not going to take them lightly. But if for some reason the Yankees can sweep tomorrow or sweep in this series, and if they could go 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals, go 5 out of, and then win their next 5 out of 6, I'll take that. And then going into next week, they got a 2-game set against the Rays before the Red Sox come into town on a 4-game set. That's going to be a big series right there, man. That's going to be a very important series. It's crunch time for the Yankees, man. It's right now they're, even with today's win, they're still underwater. They're still sinking at the moment. Cecilia says, "Will you be calling the game tomorrow?" That's the game plan. I'm planning on calling it tomorrow as long as nothing comes up. And she says, "I find your podcast refreshing. You're not spewing F-bombs every minute." Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just not my style. If I know other folks do it. I mean, however they want to do it, it's not my place to say, but it's just, I'd rather, it's just not something I do personally, but thank you. Thank you. It does mean the world to me. That means a lot. But yeah, Yankees they got a lot of work to do, but hopefully they got Ryan Yarbrough. They got Ryan Yarbrough and Fernando Cruz starting their rehab assignment on Thursday, which would be nice. Those guys are definitely needed back. What's the game plan for Ryan Yarbrough? I put him in the bullpen, honestly. "19 Con Man says, well as his toaster strudel at the plate at this point with that nerve issue." Yeah, and maybe that's what's bothering him. Brad says Yankees need to have a 12 to 15 game win streak. Realistically, we know that's not going to happen. If it did, great. But these next 10 games, though, man, They need to go 9-1. 9-1 would be great. 8-2 would be fine too. But yeah, they need to have a strong August, because right now August is off to a terrible start so far. They've only won, I believe they've only won what, 2 games. Now let me look at this real quick. They won today. Yeah, they beat Texas last week, and then, well, this is their third win of the month so far. They're 3-7 so far in the month of August, so not great. If they can win the next 2 games, against the Twins, they'll go 5-7. Nah, you're good, Rodney. You're all good, bro. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here in the next few minutes, anyway. Cecilia says, "How about realistically 7-3?" I'll take 7-3. Shout out to my guy Ace. What up, Ace? Yo, what up, man? Shout out to the Ace Avenue. I know he went live for the play-by-play. Guys, I know most of you are subscribed to the Ace Avenue, but make sure you guys subscribe to my guy. Susan says she's starting to fall asleep. I hear you. And also, shout out to Ace for being a member of the Strike Zone for 10 months. Thank you so much, Ace. You're the man, bro. You are the man. Have a great night, Susan. Thanks for coming in. Ace, how did you feel about tonight's game, man? I know it's only one game, but I'm sure it was a good feeling for the Yankees to win. It's always nice, but they got to put together a winning streak of just more than 2 games, 3 games. They got to go 4, 5, 6, man. All right, Ronnie. Yeah, give me a call tomorrow, dude. We'll talk. Yeah, exactly, Ace. Historically, whenever I was saying earlier, whenever the Yankees and Twins play each other, Yankees tend to own the Twins. It's inevitable. Like, it never fails. But yeah, the Yankees should absolutely own the Twins. To be expected. To be expected. Well, John Boy, I see this tweet by John Boy Media, and it's related to Shohei Ohtani and his agent Nez Balelo. They're being sued by a Hawaii real estate investor for allegedly sabotaging a $240 million real estate project. Got to wonder about that. Rodney, you're hilarious. Ace says sweep the Twins, 2 out of 3 versus the Cards, 2-game sweep versus the Rays, 3 out of 4 versus the Red Sox. Then I might start to get excited. Yeah, for sure. I think they should sweep the Twins, 2 out of 3 against the Cards. I mean, that's my expectation. Then they should be able to sweep the Rays in 2 games. I'd be okay with that. Going 9-1 between the Twins, Cards, and the Rays. And if they were to take 3 out of 4, 12-2 over that span, I wouldn't complain about that. It's 1 a.m. where you are for sure. Yeah, it's almost 11:30 where I am. But yes, indeed. Yeah, late night owls is right. Let's check these other scores around Major League Baseball. So Phillies beat the Reds 4-1. Royals beat the Nationals 7-4. The Tigers beat the White Sox 2-1. The Brewers, that's a hot team right there. They beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 7-1. That's a team to watch out for. The Cardinals beat the Rockies 3-2. The Rangers beat the Diamondbacks 7-6. The Astros beat the Red Sox 7-6. Angels beat the Dodgers 7-4. Padres beat the Giants 4-1. Athletics beat the Rays, or actually, no, sorry. The Rays beat the Athletics 7-4. I'm sorry, Cecilia. Cecilia says, "Oh, I'll have to look into that Otani news. After all, I am a Dodger fan and I bleed blue." Yeah, no, I know you're a Dodger fan, no doubt. Rodney said, I'm not going to read it out loud, but you're a nut job. Don't remind me about my Dodgers losing to the Angels. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Otani's a mobster. Yeah, the Mariners ain't playing, Rodney. I was talking about the Mariners earlier, man. They're not playing, dude. Yeah, they're definitely not playing around. And the Brewers are not either, man. They're in first place. Their Cubs are 6.5 games behind them. The Brewers are no joke right now. You know, wild card standings in the National League right now. The wild card spots are being held by the Cubs, Padres, and the Mets. The Reds and Cardinals are right there. The Giants are right there. The Marlins are 6 games behind, but I mean, don't be surprised if the Marlins make some sort of push. I mean, I know they're 4-6 in their last 10. They lost 3 in a row. It's not a wig, Rodney. See, it's not a wig. You're just jealous. But to answer your question, I am going to get a haircut on Saturday. So I got in contact with my barber. So I'm definitely gonna get a haircut. Yeah, yeah. Ronnie's pretty funny. Not pretty funny, but he's a funny dude. Yeah, the Guardians are in second place. They're Frederick. Yeah, they're a game out of a wild card spot, man. They're right behind the Yankees. So the Guardians definitely they're trying to make some noise. Ronnie says these fools think they got a shot. Who the Mariners? Uh, you're wrong there, Brad. Cecilia, you'll find out that Rodney's nickname is Mr. Instigator. So you'll get to know him quite well. Ronnie says he's faded. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Frederick says I want us to make the postseason. Hey man, I want the Yankees to make the postseason. Um, Nah, I never lived in the I never lived in the Bronx, but I was, I go back, if I go to a barber, I'm in Brooklyn. So, definitely go hit up one of the barber shops in Brooklyn. I don't live in New York anymore though. I haven't lived in New York in a very, very long time, but I've gone back many times. I'm due for a trip. I haven't been back in like 6 years. But yeah, no, I'm all but you'll see how different I look with the haircut. Like it's like a night and day difference. It really is. Ronnie needs his grumpy pills. Ronnie says we all do. No, I want to say it's too scary for me in the Bronx, man. I never lived there. I never had a reason to visit a whole lot except for going to Yankees games. I didn't really have any. I don't have any friends or family like that in the Bronx. My family's in Brooklyn, so and I lived in Queens, but Brooklyn was always home though. I mean, Brooklyn became home later on because I was like visiting New York every single year after we moved. He says I'm going to go back and sound like those weirdos. I mean, people tell people tell me I already sound like I'm from there. So NFE stands for no friends ever. Nope, it stands for not for everyone. Stands for not for everyone. Grandfather lived in Brooklyn for 40 years till he moved out to Cali. Okay. What part of Brooklyn? Where in Brooklyn was he from? Do you know what part of Brooklyn? I complain about when you're in a bad mood, then I complain when you're fit. I'm not saying nothing, bro. Nobody's saying nothing. I, I know what you talking about. You do you, bro. Flatbush Avenue. But like what neighborhood? Like what neighborhood, Cecilia? Like Flatbush Avenue is a street, but like what do you know the name of the neighborhood that he lived in? I know Flatbush. Yeah, no kidding, Ronnie. I'm asking for the neighborhood. Oh, Brad is complaining about you? Oh, okay. Yeah, Brad just complains just to complain. That's just Brad for you. Yes, indeed. Oh, here we go. Brad and Rodney about to get into an argument, but before they could do that, I'm probably gonna end the live stream right here though, because noisy. Oh, give me a break, Rodney. You love us noisy New Yorkers. Church Avenue being one of the cross streets. So what area would that have been? Okay, that gives me an idea. That's like almost like Prospect Park area. That's like North Brooklyn, which that whole area has changed big time. So that gives me an idea where he lived. Oh man. Brad, get back to work. Brad's like slacking on the job right now. Thinking or have an idea. It's never catastrophic if I have an idea or if I'm thinking, bro. It's all good stuff up here. Don't you forget it. You're finished for the day. Wow, you actually completed a work day. That's a big goal. That's a way to go there, dude. So proud of you. So proud of you. Yeah. Well, the midnight show is it's a rare one. It's a rare one. And Petruzzi coming in with a lame joke. Between you and Snell, I don't know who tells who's worse between telling jokes. You guys are really there ought to be an award for that, and I wouldn't be proud of it. You always finish your days, usually not this early. You sure you didn't you sure you just didn't tell your boss you didn't feel like working no more? Sorry, Petruzzi. Cecilia says I try to visit NYC at least once a year, but had a skiing accident this past winter. We'll try to see a Yankee game next year for sure. No doubt about it. Sorry about your accident. Yeah, I saw the Yankees when they came out here to Colorado. I went to all 3 games. That was a blast. Had fun with that, but definitely want to go back to New York next year. I want to make a trip out to New York next year because I'm due for a trip to Yankee Stadium. You work till 10 p.m. Congratulations. Yankees look good tonight. Yeah, they did look good tonight. They looked excellent tonight. It's against the Twins. But Petruzzi working late till 10. You're growing up there, Petruzzi. So proud of you, man. Jumping on Twitter Spaces, YouTube shows, YouTube live streams. He's working till 10 p.m. Brad got a good start from his boss so he can show his wife his participation trophy. That'll be cool next year to go to New York. You can read sarcasm on my breath. I don't know how you read sarcasm on somebody's breath, but okay, Petruzzi, whatever you say. Petruzzi, quit mine. But yeah, next year I do want to go to New York. I'd like to meet up with some of the people, though. I like to meet up with some of the content creators and some of the subscribers. I know there's a bunch of subscribers that live on the East Coast, but I think that'd be a lot of fun, man. Like I said, I'm due for a trip to New York, man. I'm due for a trip back to my hometown. Love to go back. Yeah, Petruzzi's 2 hours away from Yankee Stadium for sure. Boy, I wish I was 2 hours away. Oh, man. But anyway, folks, it's getting late for me. Maybe it's early for some of you. I know it's early. I know it's getting late here. It's almost midnight where I am. But I do appreciate you all hanging out on this late night. This is actually a lot of fun. I know there wasn't a lot of people in here, but that's okay. I actually have fun doing this. Will I do this again? Maybe. Keep on the lookout. Being fed grapes? Pfft, I don't know who would want to feed him. 22 hours flying time to New York. That's light work for you, Brad. You could do it. So when are you going to fly out to New York, man? When are you going to make that trip? Ronnie says no ladies here. There was a few. Susan was in here. Katie was in here a little bit ago. I know Desiree said what's up earlier. Cecilia was chatting it up with us. Okay, Grumpy Pants. Have a good night. We'll see Grumpy Pants later. But yeah, I'm gonna let you all go though, folks. But yeah, appreciate those who came in and chatted. So it does mean the world to me. Thank you all very much for hanging out on this late night, whether it's Tuesday for you or Monday. Yeah, I know you a lady. I mean, your name says it all. Your profile picture says it all too. Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, you're an hour behind me. So, yeah, you're an hour behind me. So it's kind of late. Hey, what's up, Evan? I'm just about to shut it down, dude. But I'm glad you came in and said what's up. Hopefully you're doing all right there, buddy. Hopefully you're all good. Shout out to Evan. But thank you all very much. Thank you all very much for popping in. Make sure you all hit the like button if you haven't yet. If you're watching this on the rerun, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Keep sharing this channel out, folks. The Strike Zone is on the road to 2,000 subs. And once we hit 2,000 subs, I will definitely do a couple of giveaways. So be on the lookout. All right. Do a couple of gift cards. So I know I usually did baseball cards, but I'm gonna do a couple of gift cards as a giveaway. But Ken, good night. Yeah, I don't know why you're awake either, Beetlebug. And it seems like when I'm about to end it, a few people start popping in. You people got no work or anything like that? What's going on here? Must have all the free time, unless you all are like complete night owls and you all could function during the day. But anyway, folks, thank you all for tuning in. You guys and gals are the best. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, wherever you may be in the world. All right. Thank you all very, very, very much. And as always, let's go Yankees. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the pregame. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the play-by-play. We out.